I've been to Oahu and Maui.
Okay.
Oahu was the one for me.
Yes.
I liked Maui, but Oahu was where I learned to be a human.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Kent, Ohio is where I learned to become a man. New York is where I learned to become a grown man. Oahu is where I became an earthling.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Fasten those seatbelts and strap in. We'll get you to those margaritas ASAP.
Hola, bonjour. Ciao, bella madame, monsieur. Salam and salam.
Hey, how are you? Welcome back to Drop a Pin, a very special Hawaii edition. Here's how this episode is going to work. First, we're going to have on KB, who goes to Hawaii all the time because he doesn't have a passport, and he's going to tell us about the tourist experience in Hawaii, and we're also just going to talk Hawaiian history and weird facts. Then we're going to have on this dude Makua Rothman, who is a local Hawaiian, and I think he's known for surfing the tallest wave of all time out there.
Yeah.
That's
Over 100 feet.
pretty substantial.
Yeah, it's Jaws. I guess Jaws is like the break. That's what they call it. That's where they get monster waves, and he surfed a 100-foot wave, I believe.
Which one do you think is bigger there, Maverick in California?
I don't know about Maverick. I do know the largest in the world is in Portugal.
Okay.
There's a spot, and they have the largest waves on the entire planet. But Makua Rothman, he surfed the largest wave in Hawaii.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Hawaii's like the surfing hub.
It's where the sport was invented.
Well, that
I didn't know
El
that.
Salvador.
Well, yeah, they do like surfing in El Salvador. We learned that. But yeah, you didn't know that surfing was invented? I mean, it was invented by the Polynesians, but the first time that Westerners saw surfing is when they showed up on the islands, and people were just shredding waves.
They were doing it for fun and recreation?
Yeah,
Or for survival?
for fun. I think
Yeah,
it was
I mean,
the
wait,
native Hawaiian,
Do you know what time frame?
I mean, they've been doing it forever.
What a blast that would have been
Yeah.
before technology and
And it's crazy because
Cars.
it's not like they're the only ones living around waves, but they were the first ones to be like, yo, let's surf these.
You have to be just like mouth agape watching somebody surf for the first time. Like, whoa.
Catch a wave?
Yeah, like, what the
the-
fuck,
yeah,
dude?
exactly.
That was so sick. He just barreled.
I think Hawaiians are some of the biggest beasts on planet Earth.
Is that a compliment?
Yes.
Yes.
Like athletic beasts.
Yes, they
They
are.
don't have the numbers, but I think
Manti
per
Te'o.
capita, they're some of the most athletic people in the world.
Yeah, Polynesians in general.
I remember I was just blown away by the locals' physiques. Like their calves were monstrous, not just large, but shredded.
I mean, it's a very
Thick boys.
it's very mountainous, so they're probably using their calves a lot. They can probably squat well.
Sexy tats. Up
Big,
and down
sexy
the
legs.
legs. Yeah, just a beautiful people.
They are. I would say. I mean, I said this, and this might offend some people. I think when it comes to Hawaiian chicks, they are probably either the most beautiful woman you've seen, or, on the obese side.
A lot of
But I think that's just that.
They're portly fellas and
Yeah.
chicks.
Yeah, you're right. They're either hot or fatsos, for
Yeah.
sure.
It might be the diet.
Yes, I think it is like related to their genetics. Their genes or whatever were used to a certain diet, and then all of a sudden they get introduced to all these Western foods, and I just don't know if they.
Food is very expensive in Polynesia, so I think you gotta opt for like the fast processed, cheaper foods a lot.
Is there like a lot of fast food in Hawaii? Does it feel just like America in
feels
that sense?
Very much like America.
It is
aside
America,
from the scenery and nature, which feels very foreign. Because it is. It's not
Yes.
in the contiguous U.S.
I would like to talk about that. I would like to talk about how Hawaii became part of America. We can thank the Marines for that, but
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah, but-
Hawaii.
Oh, yeah,
Holy
you're
shit.
welcome.
See,
Yeah,
I owe you a lot.
no,
Yeah, you're
not
welcome.
really. We can
You're
thank
welcome.
some scumbag like sugar plantation owners, but
Who's
surfing,
probably a Marine too.
Yeah. Let's get back to surfing for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Polynesians were riding waves on wooden boards as early as 1000 to 1200 AD, possibly earlier, before they even reached Hawaii. But by the time Polynesians settled in Hawaii, surfing was already like a major part of life. It was more than just a sport. It had social, spiritual, and even political importance. Chiefs often had the best boards and surf spots, and surfing skill was admired. Wow.
I just can't imagine surfing that far back in time.
Well, all you need is a piece of wood, you know?
Yeah, but they didn't
I
have
just
sex
can't
wax or anything.
imagine, like, yeah.
They didn't have wax, dude. Wax is a modern luxury, all right? You don't
No
need fucking wax.
No
all right?
sex wax. No Ron John Surf Shop.
People like me need wax, but
I can't imagine like biblical era dudes getting gnarly.
Yeah.
you're right. That is
It's such like a modern
1000
culture to
ADs
me.
now. I wouldn't call that biblical.
No,
But yeah, but
year
who knows?
1000.
Halfway.
Do you know how the Polynesians even like found Hawaii?
It is wild. I do know Hawaii and New Zealand were the last places on Earth like settled by humans. And it was the Polynesians who kind of had made their way from like Taiwan and then like eventually ended up in Tahiti, just jumping from island to island. But then when you look at Tahiti, I think Tahiti and Hawaii are like 3,000 miles apart.
Oh, they're all so remote.
yeah.
And I think they established like trade routes and were able to find each other based on just natural phenomena like the stars.
Yep. The stars, sometimes they could read waves. They could like look at the waves in the water and be like, that wave must have bounced off some like land, maybe like 1,000 miles in this direction. And then they would just head there. You can always follow a bird if you see a bird. I mean, it is insane. I'm not going to pretend like I have a good grasp on how they did it, but I think one of the most impressive human feats.
Surfing?
No, just like being able to find all those islands and just these like, they would use these like double rig canoes or I don't know, these rafts. I think they
I
had
don't think
sails.
finding it is the thing. I think refinding it, like going and like how they would have a
Exactly.
return
That's
journeys.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like
That's
that part is
almost
nuts.
as
Like the
crazy.
Vikings, whenever they left, like the Nordic area, would go over to like Greenland, and they would do it consistently and go back to the same exact spots. How the fuck did you figure that out?
Yeah, like Hawaii to the Pacific Ocean is like going to the beach and trying to find one specific grain of sand.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The good thing is that
No, I mean you're right.
So
Could-
the ocean is so big.
It
I mean,
is
you're
so big.
flying 8 hours from or 7 hours from California there, like flying. Like how long it would
Yeah.
take you to go anywhere on a canoe. No steamboats,
on
no
canoes.
anything.
It's ridiculously vast and Hawaii's so remote.
And like the good thing is that if you knew how to fish and you could collect rain, you could survive just on the open ocean for a long time. I don't think the Pacific has as many crazy storms out there in the middle as it does the Atlantic. I mean, it would suck to get caught in like a typhoon in the middle of the Pacific, but I think those waters are slightly calmer. But you got to worry about there just not being wind and then you're just rowing 3,000 miles. Like it's mind blowing, but they did find Hawaii. And I think, they made some return trips. By the time that James Cook, who was the first Westerner to discover Hawaii, I think people in Hawaii had stopped doing trips to the other Polynesian islands. I think they had kind of just started to focus more on internal politics, but he was the first Westerner to observe surfing.
James Cook, quite the resume, right?
Oh yeah, he was the dude. I think he was knighted by the Queen just because he had gone on. I don't think he discovered Hawaii maybe until his third journey, but he discovered Tahiti as well. He kind of just explored a lot of the Pacific. I think his crew explored the Vancouver area all the way up to Alaska.
Yeah.
He was looking for that Northwest Passage. So he discovered Hawaii, and it was a big deal because he arrived at the perfect time. He arrived during one of the Native Hawaiians' biggest festival that was dedicated to the god Lono, and it was just like the harvest festival, the festival of fertility, and he showed up on his ship right when the festival was starting. So all the like local Hawaiians did think he was a god at first.
A god, yeah.
Yeah. You hear that a lot about like tribes thinking that foreigners are gods, and I don't think it was true in a lot of cases. It was just kind of like a myth. In his case, I think it was documented to be true. And so he was treated incredibly well for a while, but somehow he kind of overstayed his welcome and eventually was murdered by Hawaiians.
He was probably parlaying that into too much puss.
I was about to say, he definitely
he was
took advantage of the
laying
perks
dick.
of being God.
Yeah.
I actually know for a fact he did not. He was adamant about his crew. He was like, you need to stop banging the locals, because his crew would, like, when they went to Tahiti, they banged a bunch of locals and they gave them like all these venereal diseases that they had never been exposed to. And then, like, when he came back on another journey, he's like, all the women now, like, I forget which disease it was.
Because he wanted to fuck.
Gonorrhea, but he was like, we are, like, ruining these native populations by just giving them all STDs. And so I think when he arrived in Hawaii, he was like, don't bang the locals, please, for the love of God. But
it was like, kind of like, guys, come on.
Wink,
guys,
wink.
come on.
Be careful.
It's just a little locker room talk.
Don't.
Yeah.
Get out there and get some
Yeah,
strange
I don't
fellas.
think they all listened to him. I think he got murdered because some of the Hawaiians stole one of his boats, and he was angry about it. And so he was like, if you're going to steal my boat, I'm going to like take your chief hostage. And that really pissed them off. And then, he was like rowing to shore and got ambushed. Maybe took a spear through the neck. I don't really know what happened.
That was just the way of the world. Mm-hmm. Die via spear.
It also, I mean, it's tough. Like, I'm sure it was just a misunderstanding. Like, they couldn't really communicate with them, and like, it's something must have gotten lost in translation. I think they were just borrowing his boat, and they were going to give it back. He didn't know. He thought they had stolen it.
Yeah.
Actually, the one way they could talk to the Hawaiians is they brought a dude from Tahiti. And that, even though they're like 3,000 miles apart, that language was like so similar to the Hawaiian language, they could use them as translators.
That's cool.
Yeah. But how about your experience there? You've now been twice, right?
I've been to Oahu and Maui.
Okay.
Oahu was the one for me.
Yes.
I liked Maui, but Oahu was where I learned to be a human.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Kent, Ohio is where I learned to become a man. New York is where I learned to become a grown man. And Oahu is where I became an earthling.
Wow. So are you saying you just like got in touch with your
it was
humanity?
It was right after I got contacts for the first time, and I was like, I was incapable of seeing the world. And then I arrive, and I go up to my hotel room, and I look out, and I see the perfect combination of geographic views.
Which I assume is
the beach,
blue water,
the turquoise beach, the lush emerald green mountains that look like they're from Jurassic Park, and then like even like the urbanism of Honolulu, the high rises, all in one view.
Honolulu has a lot of high rises, I think. It's like
it looks like
legit
a major city. Yeah.
You say it looked like Jurassic Park. I think they filmed the first Jurassic Park in Hawaii.
Hell yeah.
It is pound for pound one of the most beautiful places on earth. I know you've been too, right?
Yeah.
But like, why did you like Oahu more than Maui?
I thought it was a little prettier. Mm-hmm. I liked the beaches better. There's a variety of beaches. It's like the first one I went to was Lanikai, and that's just like a screensaver, like a postcard.
Yes.
Like it's so beautiful that you're like, now what? But you just gotta just take it in and not seek anything more. Mm-hmm. And then I went to Sandy Beach, and this is the one with the massive waves. That's where like the ones that pulverize you.
Okay, yeah.
And that's like the funnest. The funnest thing I can do in life right now is get pounded by waves.
Get your shit beat
my
in
favorite
by
thing.
waves. It is incredible. So did you ever try to surf, or were you just going out there
No.
just
body surfing? Yeah.
Body surfing is a blast, but when you like body surf some of those Hawaiian waves, I mean, they will just
I
fucking
know I was
throw
getting
you.
throttled. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is fun though, but you could like easily get a black
see how
eye.
I could have like passed away.
I thought I damn near got knocked out when I was in Hawaii from body
feels like,
surfing,
yeah.
and it slammed me into the sand and woke up like dazed, like what the fuck, man? Because they're strong. Like,
Oh yeah, I was getting fucked up. What else? Diamond Head. That's like where I think that's a popular like pro surfer spot. Got to see that. That was phenomenal.
did you hike it?
I didn't do any hiking.
It was more just like a post up on the beach vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like we had a
there's no
rental
shame in
Jeep
that.
and like just driving the highways through the mountains and stuff like that. Spectacular. And I like a little liveliness. I'm not crazy about like tourist packed places, but like it's cool to be in like Waikiki where, there's a lot of energy.
Yeah. What how about for like food? What were you doing? Were you impressed by the food?
I don't know if I did food right, but it was amongst the best food I've ever had. We would go to the Food Lion and just get fresh poke.
That's the
And
move.
that's like my favorite food now.
Can we talk about poke though? Because like I feel like in the last 10 years, it's become like a very commonplace food. Where growing up, I didn't know what poke was. I think I probably learned about it my first time in Hawaii, but it was something you could find in Hawaii, but you weren't seeing it on like every
Never.
corner in the U.S.
Poke's everywhere now.
Yeah, I think you can get poke in pretty much every city in the U.S. these days.
Yeah, it's like Poke or Subway.
Yeah. Those are your two
Yeah, as a
options.
child, I didn't know what poke. I didn't know what an avocado was as a kid.
Yeah, true.
In like 2012. It's
Yeah,
like
what the
now
fuck
you're
is
gonna eat
this?
one every day for the rest of your life.
Okay,
Yeah.
my parents exposed me to avocado at a young
Really?
age, I think.
What about
Privilege.
starfruit?
Not starfruit, no.
Yeah.
Not starfruit for me either. I still don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It may have been like an Action Bronson video where I kind of like learned about poke, like his travel show. Fuck, that's
Yeah.
delicious. And I was like, that looks incredible. I mean, I love raw fish.
So I'd recommend the Food Lion. They have the best, in my opinion, better than like any of the restaurants or shacks.
Well, and probably for what, like a quarter of the price if you were
But
going
yeah,
to a
it's
restaurant?
cheaper. I think it's perfect. I love Loco Moco. And I don't know if it's the quality. I think it's just the fact that they do it. They mix gravy with burger patties and rice, and it's phenomenal. And I think we should do it here.
Locomoco is amazing.
It's just a good combination. I had it with meatloaf and burger.
So what exactly is Locomoco?
It's typically like a burger patty crushed up and mixed with rice and gravy.
All right,
I'm a sucker for gravy.
I'm sold.
We need to put more gravy on things.
Yeah. I mean, we do.
Where
I
can you
mean-
go right now and like I'm gonna go get something with gravy on it?
It would
That
have
little
to-
breakfast house.
Yeah, I would have to
biscuits
go
and
to
gravy.
breakfast time.
Yeah, biscuits and
I'm
gravy.
talking about brown gravy.
Okay.
brown gravy.
Roast gravy,
is
yeah.
kind of like
Canada does it.
on their poutine.
Love Spam.
I do love
Hate-
spam too.
It's weird to admit. I love Spam, and so I was eating a lot of just like the prepackaged Spam musubi.
Yes, masubi. I remember that's Willie Cologne's favorite food.
It's so good. It's a perfect treat.
Yeah, it's pretty much like sushi but made with spam instead of raw fish. And spam is popular throughout all the Polynesian islands, but I think it comes from Wisconsin or something like that. I think it's like made in Wisconsin, and then it was probably
Spam seems like
introduced by the military. Like, how did it become so popular?
Like
Yeah.
it's an introduction there, and one because the import is difficult. Like back in the day, especially the 1940s, 50s, when they were starting to really import different meats, it was a lot harder. You didn't have refrigeration nearly as much, especially not across the Pacific. So that was a way that they could get different types of meat to Hawaii without it going spoiled. So like the taste
Okay.
adapted
to it.
True.
Yeah.
The
works.
spam's also huge in South Korea. They do a lot of spam fries where they'll slice them into fries and then fry it in
Yeah.
oil.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a lot of. I think I was eating just a lot of like Korean or Japanese food, like
Tons of Japanese in Hawaii.
the karaage. It's like their fried chicken.
Yes.
I loved that.
I always called it karagi, but I
It
think
might be karage. I just
karage
read it.
might sound a little better.
My
but,
favorite Japanese restaurants in Waikiki that's there.
what
There's
is
only like 3 outside of Japan. Kokoichi Banya's is there. It's like a
Yeah.
katsu curry
Oh, yeah, the katsu curry is amazing.
I love katsu curry. Might be my death row meal. Like that might be part of
Yeah.
it for sure. I love it, man.
Can you get it like here?
You can, but not nearly as good. I have had a couple spots. I can make it pretty well. Maybe I'll make it and bring it in one day.
Please.
But katsu curry, like if you don't know what it is, it's like a chicken cutlet that's beaten down pretty thin, and it's fried with panko, and then it's served on a bed of like really soft, sticky rice. And it has a brown curry sauce that goes over the top, and it can go from very mild to extremely spicy. And then in Japan, they will cover it with like mozzarella cheese too. Yeah. It is unbelievable.
Hawaii was the first place I ever had a slice of pineapple on my burger, and that was like mind blowing to me back in the day. I was like, why have I not been doing this?
Yeah, it's it's like Minneapolis do that, or what is it?
Minneapolis puts pineapple on their burgers?
They have their own signature burger, I think. It's called like a Lucy or something. Maybe it's not pineapple.
Yes, I've heard about a Lucy burger. I think it's like peanut butter or something. Yeah, where they put the cheese in the burger and
not
then
pineapple. Okay.
Oh, maybe banana peppers on it. I don't know. What goes into a Juicy Lucy? Because I've heard all about it.
The old Juicy Lucy.
A Juicy Lucy is that's just the cheese is stuffed inside the burger patty.
Yeah, it's like a lava cake, but cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Don't need that.
No.
I'm gonna be honest.
I also remember eating in Hawaii just deep fried pieces of pork. That was so good. Where you don't think of pork as like deep fried that much, right?
Right,
No.
yeah.
It's always chicken.
I will say they do a lot of. I was chilling on the pig. I was chilling on the pig and the poi.
What is poi? Is that a fish?
What is poi? There's poi everywhere.
Yeah, I know. When I hear the word poi, I think of Hawaii, but I don't even know what poi
It's
is.
kind of I wasn't leaping for the poi. I wasn't springing for the taro.
Oh yeah, I was actually just gonna say that's
that-
from
Taro
that.
root. Yep.
Yeah, it's from that
yeah,
root. It's like a sweet potato.
I was kind of cool on the taro.
But
But acai, I can't get into acai. I think it tastes like eating ice cream when you have COVID. It's just like it's just not quite the treat.
See, I
It's
disagree.
advertised. Like my girlfriend loves acai bowls.
I didn't like it here, but there I really liked it.
They were definitely the best acai bowls that I've had, but still, like, give me ice cream.
fair.
It's healthy.
If I'm having something cold
It's a good
and
for
soft,
yeah.
I want it to be ice cream or yogurt, frozen.
Yeah. I think I kind of like acai. I don't get it. I'll always go for like a bacon, egg, and cheese for breakfast over an acai bowl. But whenever I'm forced to eat one, I'm like, damn, this is refreshing.
Yeah, but if
refreshing,
it's like 80 something degrees on a Hawaiian morning and you're sitting out on the beach and you can go and you can pick one up, it's got fresh coconuts and blueberries and a little bit of bananas and strawberries in there too. That's a refreshing breakfast on the beach.
Very, very. Yes. Whereas like you wake up and just eat a bacon, egg, and cheese on the beach. You're
Or like
sweating seeds.
You in Mexico City when you got Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme, I stand by. They had a
You
new
went to
type of
Krispy
Krispy
Kreme
Kreme
in
don't-
Mexico City?
Yeah.
I did, but it was because they had a donut on the menu that they don't have at Krispy Kreme's up here.
A Mexican donut.
I'll go to an American fast food chain in a foreign country if
That's
they
true.
have
You do that a
if
lot.
they have something that I can't get in the U.S.
Yeah,
like the
new
Taco
menu
Bell.
items, yeah.
Speaking of the weather, though, you said it was like a hot 80-degree day. It rarely gets much hotter than that. It's the only state in the country that has never had a temperature over 100 degrees.
So it does. It's like kind of like Southern California.
Yes. I think
The weather was perfect every day I was there, both years,
they got
except for rain. But like,
yeah. Well, it's
kinda
the,
like,
it's
all
the hands down the wettest
That's why it's
place on
a little
earth. But they've like recorded a temperature of 100, I think once, but it's never really gone over 100.
The wettest place on earth?
Hawaii,
Really?
yes, yep, the wettest place on earth.
I would have thought
I didn't
Vietnam.
know that.
Nope, it is Hawaii. So yeah, I'm sure there was probably just a little bit of rain every day, but it wasn't like it's going to be
It
raining
was
all
mostly
day.
sunny, which was nice.
Yeah, it is a paradise. I was reading that, so I guess there's 14 climate zones in the world, and Hawaii has 10 of all 14.
I also read that.
So what? They don't have glaciers.
What are the? Yeah, let's see. Like which
They don't
ones?
have glacier.
They don't have.
tundra.
They do get snow though. There's like
So high they get
Yeah,
snow.
yeah, at the very
That's
top.
But they wouldn't have tundra.
Nah.
What climate zones does Hawaii not have? Yeah.
Hawaii snow just brings up weed.
That brings up another point.
Now, did you get to try kava there? I feel like that's right up
The
your
chain
alley.
that makes
No. Kava is like a drug similar to kratom
Oh.
that they now sell at head shops all around the U.S., but it is huge.
Wait, is this the shit that people are
through
getting
the pond.
addicted to unknowingly? Like,
Well, people get addicted to
There's-
kratom for sure.
oh,
but
yeah, there's this thing called Feel Free. It's like kava and kratom, and they sell it at gas stations and smoke shops. And a bunch of people are going viral for coming out that like they get severely addicted to it.
I believe it. I mean, you can get very addicted to kratom. Like, I was talking to someone who runs a kratom shop, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll see some people come in and they're like scratching their skin and shit, like,
I've
just needing
when
their
I would do it
fix."
casually and in semi moderation. You'd
Mm-hmm.
go. People would wait in line for it to open,
Yes.
or they'll stand out by the door because
Mm-hmm.
they need their credit. Yeah.
What does it do? What is that high?
I mean, so kratom
Good
is more
question.
similar to like pain pills. Kava, I've heard it compared to alcohol or opioids as well, but I think kava comes from a root that like naturally grows in Hawaii and the Polynesian Islands. I don't know if you guys have seen this new show of Jason Momoa called Chief of War, and it's about the conquest of Hawaii, because Hawaii used to be 6 or 7 different kingdoms on the islands, and then this one king was able to just through war, and I think he like borrowed weapons from Westerners, so he had some cannons. He was able to unify all of the islands.
That
Looks
gotta
like
be
an
a
absolute stud.
What? Yes, coming in
A
on
lot of
the
streets
first.
named after him.
Commandant the First. He was able to unify all the islands. But the opening scene of the show, they are hunting sharks, and he uses the ingredient in kava, which I think is called like the awa root, to drug the shark. So the shark becomes kind of like sluggish, and then he jumps in the water, like ties a rope around it, is riding the shark, and they eventually pull it on the boat. And I like all the comments were like, dude, what the fuck? Like, this is the most made up shit I've ever seen. But it's actually not. There are legends of like ancient Hawaiians drugging sharks as a way to catch them.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
we
sick.
should- Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, sharks are like a big part in Hawaii culture. They're seen as kind of like their spiritual protectors. But then there's also some like man-eaters, and it's the man-eaters that they'll kill. And then kind of like they would use their teeth to make weapons and things like that. Did you see any sharks?
I feel like that's something I would remember.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's a no.
If I saw a shark, that would stick in my head.
Were you just like chilling on the beach going for a swim, or did you do any snorkeling or?
I did not do any snorkeling. I wish I did snorkeling or scuba diving. But yeah, it was chilling. Like, I feel like I went there with the intention of turning up. When I go on vacation, especially the beach, I like to turn up.
Yes.
It's not a place to turn up, and you got to accept that. It's a place to relax and feel. It is a place I'd recommend weed,
Were you
psilocybin,
okay?
stuff like that. That's the wavelength that you should be on.
Yeah. Now, did you buy the weed there, or did you just bring your own?
I think I brought some of my stuff.
Okay.
So and some shrooms, and
That-
delightful place to be on psychedelics.
Yeah. I need a vacation like that. Like a lot of the times when I travel, it'll be like for work, and I'm like, I got to do this. I got to film this, and like it's not a lot of time to just kind of like detach.
Once I detached, and it was like, all right, we're not, no itinerary. We're just gonna enjoy, and it was spectacular.
Let's go.
You know what else I didn't see besides sharks?
What's very Hawaiian?
My least favorite animal.
Oh, you didn't see snakes?
No, because there's no snakes.
No.
How about that?
No?
That is
snakes?
crazy considering the climate, and, like
Just looking
tropical.
at it, this is a place that has to have
snakes everywhere.
No snakes, but guess what? Stray cats everywhere. A paradise within a
Oh, and
paradise.
you love cats.
My favorite, yeah.
Yeah.
Did Donnie tell you that we got to hang out with Hemingway's six-toed cats?
You met Hemingway's cats?
Yeah.
I think you did tell me
We
that.
went, we were petting them and hanging out and took some pictures with them. All of them with six toes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he was
What do you mean they're Hemingway's?
because he was gifted a six-toed cat, right?
Yeah.
I forget who it was that gave him the cat, but now the descendants of his original cat still live on the grounds of his house down in Key West.
And it's a genetic defect
Key
that's
West.
passed on to those
cool.
cats' kids. So some of them there'll be a couple that only have 5, but then when the six-toed ones like hop up on a table or something, you're like, you freak, look at you, you're so cute.
Yeah,
It's
I love
it's
that.
awesome.
Kind of a downer. I've heard the locals really don't like tourists. Did you notice that
Yeah.
at all? I think if you're on a resort, they probably
You kind
not
of feel
gonna
it.
see that.
You kind of feel it in some of them, and I feel like they don't necessarily embrace the white transplants.
Okay, yeah.
Super warmly.
Yeah, I want to talk to Makua about this, but what about the white people that have lived in Hawaii for 2 generations or something like that? Are they accepted? I think there's still
There's
quite
still,
a divide.
what is there? There's a name, Howley or
Howleys are the
I think
the
they
white
have to
Hawaiians.
say they are from Hawaii but not Hawaiian. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a key
Okay.
differentiator. But no, some of them maybe there was an air of you get in any tourist location.
Yeah. Well, I also think you're probably not a very annoying
Yeah, and
tourist.
also I just
I don't see
avoid
you
people.
being you're stereotypical loud drunk American when you're when
Yeah,
you're
and I
over
just
there.
don't really interact with other people.
Yeah, you're I didn't make eye contact
maybe
with a
that
single
was
local.
But my algorithm was feeding me Hawaiian content when I was there, and they'd there's definitely some tension.
Okay. And I think that tension probably harkens back to it was sort of a hostile takeover way back in the day because Hawaii used to be a monarchy. I think at the time that the U.S. took it over, it had a queen, but there was a lot of American businessmen out there that ran these sugar plantations, and they were just kind of worried that eventually the queen would try to restrict what they're allowed to do. And so they kind of just formed this group called the Safety Committee, and they're the ones who called the Marines over. They're we need you to come and sort of intimidate the queen just by showing up. No shots were fired. And I don't know, the Marines showed up and the queen eventually resigned, or she was all right, we got the Marines. I don't want there to be bloodshed. I'm going to resign, but don't worry, the U.S. president will overturn this and kick the Marines out. But that's not what happened. The president, I think it was Garfield, he tried to. He was okay, this hostile takeover of Hawaii was not legal. But then the head of the businessmen out there, someone from the Dole family of pineapple fame, he just told the president, no, this Hawaii is ours now. And kind of just told the president to fuck off. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
Very, very disrespectful. And that's when it eventually became a territory of the U.S. I didn't realize it was a territory for a while. It only became a state in
59.
in 59. So when Pearl Harbor happened and all that, it was not a state, just a territory. But yeah, it's kind of sad, but it's also sweet having Hawaii as the 51st state or the 50th state.
50th.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, geez, yeah.
Still 50, yeah.
Yep.
Puerto Rico might be 51.
Yes.
Or DC.
But that is why today it is the only royal palace in all of the U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. I assume the royal palace, is it in Honolulu? Was that kind of the ancient seat of government too?
You'd think I would have checked that out, right?
No, I don't
Imagine.
know.
But some of those Polynesian museums that are around there, I don't know if you got the chance to go to any of them, but they are amazing. The old warrior class there and what they would accomplish and what how ruthless they were when they needed to be was fucking amazing. Those and the Buddhist temples that are around. Actually, it kind of changed my wife and I's death plan, like of what we wanted. Because, you like travel around here, even like in the Chicago area, there'll be acres and acres of a cemetery that is just huge or just stacked up, put stones on you and everything. But there at this Buddhist temple, you could sign up and they will take your ashes and put it into like a planting box with different trees, and they replant trees like from your ashes. What's that?
Yeah, I've like seen this like every once in a while. Like people, I didn't know it was like a.
Yeah, you can like sign up to have that to do for that to happen to you.
Yeah, become a tree. Like yeah, that's better than a slab of stone.
Right.
Would love to be a tree.
Yeah, like, and you can do it in different places. I know that there's a spot in the Pacific Northwest that they'll like add your body to the rainforest. There's actually a new type of coffin. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but it has spores for mushrooms, and your body feeds those spores, so then your body becomes like mushrooms.
I'd be down. I'd be down with that too.
Yeah.
I just read like the coffin industry is declining, and because people are finding new ways, like there's new innovations to cremation and shit like that. Yeah,
it's also like coffins can be really expensive, and it's a shame. Like if someone in your family passes away and you guys don't have a lot of money, it's like you don't want to have to go into debt just trying to like give your family member a respectful burial.
Yeah, I told if I was poor, I'd just be like, dump me in the trash, dude. Like, who gives a fuck? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know if I need to go in the trash. You could dump me in the ocean.
I'm fine with the trash, whatever.
Okay.
You should demand that.
Yeah.
Just put me in the trash. Take me out on a Monday morning.
The cops show up. They're like, it's in his will. He wanted to be dumped in the trash.
Fragile, handle with care.
Yeah. Some other facts about the palace, though. The Royal Palace in Hawaii, it had electricity before the White House. I think it also had phones before the White House.
Nice.
Yeah, let's go. I think the king was just really obsessed with new technology, so he wanted that shit right away. Now, did you you said it felt a lot like the U.S. except for the scenery. Were there some other aspects where you could be like, okay, this is like very different than mainland America?
Let me see. Aside from like the natural geography.
Yeah, aside from like everywhere you look just being absolutely beautiful.
Not really, like all the buildings, the businesses felt like they could easily be in America or just like clones of American businesses.
Is there an accent? I think there is.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. It's a little deeper. I don't want to try to do it, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They have a distinct dialect. A lot of trucks, a lot of pickup trucks. It kind of has like a country feel in a sense, like a rural, rugged feel.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever go up, like driving up to the North Shore or anything?
We did, yeah. The North Shore was amazing.
Yeah, I feel like that is going through like the country. Like on your way from Waikiki up to the North Shore, you do see like little farming communities, and it is like it's like driving through North Carolina, but it's with Hawaii.
Exactly, that's what it felt like. Going outside of this Honolulu, it's like you're in the sticks, and like this, it feels very similar to Appalachia with a different filter.
Yeah,
they did. I know Hawaii had cowboys before the U.S., before mainland.
They had cowboys.
Yeah, because someone
kind of can feel that. Yeah,
one of the explorers brought cows to the island, and it was a gift to the king, and the king had like a rule, okay, you're not allowed to kill a cow for the next 10 or 20 years, I'm not sure. So then all of a sudden there was just tons of cows running rampant all over the island, and so they flew in some Spaniards that kind of like knew how to herd cows, and they just kind of like became the cowboys of Hawaii. And some of those Spaniards' descendants still live on the island.
Oh, okay. I remember this. What's the name for Hawaiian cowboy?
A Spaniard cowboy is a vaqueros.
Vaqueros.
Yeah, so they brought some
odes to vaqueros on the island.
Yeah.
So Maui was completely different for me. That was just kind of being amidst extravagance. Like, it's just... I kind of felt like imposter syndrome because like my resort was so nice. Everything around us was just like luxury resorts. It felt like I was amidst a wealth that that wasn't for me.
Well, you could afford it, man.
It felt like, yeah. No, well, I got
Maybe-
some deals.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I got some discounts.
Okay.
And it was expensive, but
it is like that. That's why I always tell you, like, maybe you should try to get a passport, because if you had traveled to like a foreign country, it would have been so much cheaper than Hawaii.
it
Like,
would have been, yeah.
I've heard Hawaii is, like, it's very, very pricey, right?
Very expensive.
Like how much is your average hotel room in Hawaii?
I mean, if you can. So there's a place called Halikoa that's actually a military resort in the middle of Waikiki, and it's very, very nice as well.
Yeah.
And the rooms there for us were like $279, and the cheapest that we could find an equivalent in the non-military one was like $600, like
Oh, damn.
$500-600 a night.
Yeah.
Like they're very,
Yeah,
very expensive, especially on Waikiki Beach.
And then food is probably expensive unless you're going to the grocery store or something like that.
Yeah, but you're not really wanting to do that on a Hawaii vacation.
Yeah.
For the most part, you know, you're wanting to go out and eat the amazing seafood. Like I feel like that in Hawaii, one of my favorite things was sitting down for dinner at like 6:45 and waiting for the sun to set at like nearly 8 after you're just done. It's so beautiful. The setting sun over the
Yeah.
ocean is just amazing.
Get a bunch of seafood. And,
Yeah. Like there you
So
could see the sun kind of setting behind Diamond Head.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure. I think the most beautiful thing I saw in Hawaii was lava. I happened to be there when there was
saw lava with your
got to
eyes?
see lava with my own eyes.
In
I think
broad
it was,
daylight.
yes, in broad daylight, and then the sun went down. You could still see it glowing. It was like there was an active volcano, but it was just there was a lava flow that was flowing into the ocean.
Did you poke it with a stick?
I'm sure I tried. I was like throwing rocks into it, and then you would just
Yeah.
see it slowly like consume the rock.
Oh, that's
And
I would love to play with
fantastic.
lava.
It
Yeah.
was
I would like to
so
spit in it.
cool. Yes.
If
yeah.
you had a lava bachelor party, that shit would be so awesome. Where you just set up a whole trip around throwing stuff into lava.
Yes.
Oh my god!
I'd
throw
do that
stuff
for
into
like
lava
a 3-day
forever.
trip, lava
Yep.
trip.
I was
Oh, yeah.
I was watching the lava
I would
flows.
like to like shoot lava with a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and
Toss me in it when I'm dead.
it's so rare that you
Yeah.
get to see lava and like not in like a safe way. But it wasn't even after a while. I realized that the bottom of my shoes were starting to melt.
You had
It's like-
lava on your shoes.
No, not on my shoes, but the lava was heating up it was flowing underneath the rocks that I was on. So like
you
heating
were
up the
heating up
rocks.
your shoes.
And then the rubber on my shoes was starting to melt, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Am I going to end up like surrounded by lava?" I do think that's not a good way to go. Being thrown into lava,
Oh no.
probably like
No,
top 5 worst
no,
ways to
yeah.
go. But it is fascinating.
Suboptimal.
Lava's got to be one of the coolest substances on Earth.
Oh, big time.
Yeah,
As far as substances go, yeah.
as far as
Non-man-made.
yes. But yeah, I don't think you can just see lava all the time in Hawaii. I'm not sure.
I
unless
didn't
they're
catch any glimpses.
no, yeah. Yeah, you didn't do any hikes because, like,
I did a hike in Maui, and it was just like, fuck this.
not a big hike guy.
I appreciate the view from the top, but
I see. I
yeah,
like
but
you.
the best hike is
You love to go to the
Fine.
gym and like work out. I feel like you would appreciate the hardness of a hike. No, you're.
yeah, but I'm not like at the gym like this is what I would do on a vacation. This is a blast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big hike guy.
I don't hate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can like rent ATVs. I assume like they probably do that out there, right? Like
I think
ATV
they do
tours.
like shit like that. Yeah.
The only other thing I recall from my Hawaii trip, it was freshman year of college, and my dad had won a trip there through work, and the resort we were at had a water elevator, which was sick. So there was kind of this like water park in the back, and the water elevator, you get in, and this like room fills up with water, and the water just lifts you to the second level.
Oh.
That's pretty fucking cool,
I just
right?
is
chill
cool.
on that. Yeah.
As long as you can swim.
Yeah.
Yeah. and so you don't like drown. But yeah, water elevators, those need to be.
But you're submerged in water?
No, you're not submerged. You kind of just like
Yeah, I was gonna
float it
say.
up. You just float on
You
the top
float it
as
up?
the water level rises, and it like brings you to the second level, which was wild. Any last things to add?
Any
about
other
Hawaii?
wildlife that you got? Like, did you get to swim with turtles or anything?
No, I'm embarrassed. I kind of just chilled, and I'm not the guy to ask for tourist recommendations for Hawaii. I just loved it. I loved being there. I think it's the best place I've ever been and the best place I will ever go. And I know that's probably ignorant because I've never been out of the country, but I think other places might be as good as Hawaii. But
Yeah,
like Okinawa.
I mean, Hawaii's fucking good. Like,
Yeah, just like-
there's a reason why it's one of the most popular tourist
Thank you.
destinations in the world. It's beautiful, different culture. It's easy for.
well, according to KB, not that different of a culture.
Yeah.
The culture, like the actual culture, is different. It's just like,
You just weren't really immersing yourself in that culture.
no, I wasn't going to like
Yeah.
family dances, and
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you would have been welcome at those.
I think
family
that would have
dances.
been disrespectful. So I let them do their thing, and I appreciate it that they let me do my thing.
Did you see anybody hula hooping?
Hula hoop.
Another Hawaiian invention.
Yeah, and there were hula hoopers. Yeah, and I appreciated that.
Okay, I appreciate it. Apparently, the Catholic Church tried to ban hula hooping on Hawaii for a while. I don't know if it was the Catholic Church, but the Christians tried to ban hula in Hawaii for a bit.
Too lewd.
Yeah, a little
gyrating your pelvis.
yeah.
Get
It's
out
a
of
very-
town.
Gyrating
You
the
can't
pelvis.
Very
gyrate that
erotic
much.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
you can't
A
gyrate.
little too erotic, and it's also, I think there's like a spiritual side to it. When you hulu, you're also like paying respect to the Hawaiian gods, and they were like, no, there's only one
None of
god
that.
now.
Yeah.
I do remember going and driving through. It's like kind of right by where Barack Obama went to high school, but there's like
yeah.
on top of one of the big mountains there. There's this like it's an all boys school, and it is on top of the mountain overlooking Diamond Head, the rest of Waikiki, and you can go up to it, but you can't like go as high as they are. So it goes up another like 200 or 300 feet up from where you could go. And it has to be the most beautiful location for a school you could possibly have.
Oh, yeah.
Like their high school football stadium, which is like where I believe that's where who was the guy that played
Manti
for Oregon?
Te'o?
No, the guy who played for Oregon.
Mariota?
Yeah, Marcus
Okay.
Mariota played there. So did one of Tua's brothers played there too.
Okay.
But on the top of that mountain, they have the school and the football stadium. So when you're in the football stadium, it overlooks like the ocean.
That's what. Yep.
And they just get millions and millions of dollars because that's like where all the Hawaiian kids that go to like USC, Oregon, BYU, so many of them come out from that area.
Oh, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we
school, yeah, I've
find
heard
a
of this school.
photo of this?
Yeah, I love high school campuses.
Do you think it's St. Louis? Do you think like St. Louis? If you search St. Louis,
St.
Hawaii,
Louis school.
Yeah, that's probably.
St. Louis, Oahu,
I've
and
heard
then
of the
search
school before.
football field. I want to see if it's more beautiful than where I played my Thanksgiving game.
That hall
Yes.
on
Not
the
that
peninsula.
I don't think
Wait.
it's that one because it's like legit. I don't remember what it was called, but it's like top of. Look up where Tua went to high school. I think that's where he went.
Great athletes in Hawaii.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think he went to St. Louis.
Yeah, he did.
All right, now search. Well, first let's see if we can find this. If not, search Hull High School football field. This is where I played my Thanksgiving game.
Oh shit!
it was surreal watching. I couldn't believe you actually
Wait, no.
surrounded by
Yeah,
water.
so hit the photo below where you can see the whole peninsula or something like that. Yeah, right there on a spit.
I would if you showed me that picture for like GeoGuessr, 0.0 chance I say that's Massachusetts.
I know. Look at that.
That looks nothing like Massachusetts.
The game was 3-0 just because the winds were so bad.
Oh yeah, we went
I bet
in
that was
July
cold
and
as
it was freezing
fuck.
cold.
That was absurd. Yeah, I brought KB to Massachusetts for the 4th of July. I'm like, it's going to be the best weather the whole year. And it was like 40s with cold rain. But yeah, no, very cool place to play football. Our British exchange kid, or this British kid that moved to our town senior year and was a rugby player before, so knew how to kick things. He scored the only points of the game and then became like a high school hero overnight.
Nice.
Yeah.
3-0.
The only thing I have to add about Hawaii is that when I was there, I went to Molokai, which is, I think, the smallest island, kind of the, like, not as touristy, and went on a hike to this leper colony. I guess like a big chunk of the island was just a leper colony back in the day. If you had leprosy, they would send you to that island.
Exiled, yeah.
And there's huge cliffs there, so we did like a hike down the cliffs. I think they might still have some lepers there, but yeah, it was a beautiful hike, beautiful beach, but sort of a dark history.
And then I think, like, doesn't Larry Ellison have his own like private island?
Larry Ellison, he was the founder of Oracle?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like one of the richest men in the world. I think he owns one.
Yeah.
That's
I
probably
just remember I was reading Steve Jobs' autobiography, and like they used to call Larry Ellison, "Oh, my rich friend."
98% of the island. Fuck.
Lanai, okay.
Lanai. So I'm going to assume the locals probably don't love him. I don't know.
Like, how do you get to the spot where you can buy that?
Yeah, where you can buy that.
Nobody should
It's
be that
insane.
rich.
I do see
No.
there are some like shitty islands that they're selling for pretty cheap.
Yeah, Mr. Beast will just give them away.
But that ain't it. That's not a
That's
shitty
a
one.
nice island.
No, not at all.
I'd want a shitty island.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this. There's an island up in Maine. They're selling for like $200K, $250.
There's one in Lake Michigan that's for sale for $250,000.
That, I mean, how far from Hawaii? Because I feel like that'd be a worthwhile investment for Big Cat.
What?
If he just bought an island in Lake Michigan, and then you could
But, well, like, what
you
if
could
it
have like
sucks?
Barstool Beach House on an island.
That would be sick. Survivor?
But, yeah.
Yeah, like have Survivor on an actual
having
island.
an island would be cool.
I mean, if you're going to do Surviving Barstool, doing it on an island would be crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like, you have legit our own Love Island. Tommy Smokes gets some strange.
An actual Survivor, yeah.
Yeah.
It is wild. Like for what Dave paid for his Nantucket house, I'm sure there's like thousands of islands that he could have bought, and like some of them I'm sure are pretty nice. Like Barack Obama, I think, just sold his Martha's Vineyard estate, and like still it was maybe half the price of what Dave paid for his spot.
Yeah, we got to get him an island in the Caribbean.
Well, he needs to get himself an island. We're not going to be helping with that.
Damn, that's a nice place for the Obamas.
Yeah, like that's a giant house.
There's an island by Put-in Bay in Lake Erie. It's called Rattlesnake Island. It's private, and there's like rumors to be like some weird cult-like behavior on the island.
Ooh.
And potentially trafficked Eastern Europeans.
Jesus.
While also being infested by snakes, apparently.
When
There's
you
not
say,
much information about it online, but
I mean, it
it's
sounds like
always
we'll have
struck me
to
as interesting.
pay a visit.
Yeah, that might be a
I'm
place
sure
we need to
it's-
drop a pin in.
I mean, I assume like there's probably a lot of Eastern Europeans on Put-in Bay because they all get those J1 visas and come over for the summer. I hope they're not being trafficked through Rattlesnake Island though. Jesus. KB, last words. Do you think you will get a passport in the next 5 years, or now that you've found Hawaii, there's really
I actually just
no
got
point.
the necessary urge to make step one for the first time.
What gave you that urge? Is there a spot if you did have a passport? Is there like a spot?
There's
you'd
a
be
bunch
like,
of spots. I just got to do it. But my girlfriend's family is planning a trip to Nova Scotia next summer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna need one for that. Yeah, but there's so many places.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of people being like, I got to get my passport so I can go to Nova Scotia.
That's me. Yeah.
But hey,
I want to knock out Canada. I want to do British Columbia. I want to do Quebec. Maybe
Yeah.
Alberta.
Montreal.
And
I guess
then I'll go to Mexico.
and then, but you got to go. Yeah.
I'll ease my way into Europe.
Yeah, Montreal's a good way. That's a good like
Montreal will be,
it feels European, and you can also drive there from Chicago. It might be like a 10-hour
Montreal,
drive or
Quebec City is on the list. Vancouver is on the list.
Vancouver is beautiful.
Yeah.
Mexico City now. I do want to do like the Mexican resort. I want to try out, I guess, Cancun.
Nah, you don't have to go to Cancun.
Cabo.
You can find a better place.
I want to do the Caribbean. I want to do Puerto Rico.
Yes. What about somewhere as far as Thailand? Is that like
I would love to do Thailand.
Yeah.
I would love to do a month in Thailand.
Because you can handle
solo.
A solo month in Thailand? Well, yeah, I mean, it could be cool, but you can go down a dark path. Like, if you do a solo month in Thailand, you could find yourself, do like a yoga retreat. They do those silence retreats over there.
Yeah, I don't need...
I feel like you would do well at a
I would do very
silent
well
retreat.
at a silent retreat. I don't think I would break any of the rules.
Yeah, it is. That's tough. I know someone who did it for like 10 days. He couldn't say a word.
Oh,
Soul Jarrett?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Although I'm sure Soul Jarrett has done one of those. Or you can take a dark route and just go down the sex tourism path.
Yeah.
In Thailand.
I could.
No,
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I could.
It'd be a good time.
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
I wouldn't though. But
there. Vietnam. Australia.
Australia, yeah. That's high on the list for me. I think another spot.
Korea, Japan, of course.
Chad.
Hit up Chad.
Yeah.
I'm sure you.
Man.
What can you tell us about Chad? Just being a geography wizard. Do you would you be able to, I'm sure you could find it on a map.
I could. It's big and in the middle. Is it like, I think it's like, is it Saharan?
Yeah.
Or sub-Saharan? I think it's deserty. I think it's in a bad spot.
It is.
Boom. You just summarized Chad.
It's nicknamed the Dead Heart of Africa.
Yeah.
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 Well, maybe one day.
Maybe one day, once you get the passport. I think my 6-month-old kid's passport is coming in the mail soon.
I saw him get...
Do you guys have a trip plan, right?
No. We just wanted to get it. I know my wife wants to take him to Ireland at some point soon, so we figured might as well get it now.
Yeah.
But I think your first passport you can use for like 10 years. So he's going to be like 10 years old and just using like a baby photo to board flights, I think.
I thought it was 5 for kids under 18.
That it may have changed to 5. That would make more sense.
Yeah, I think it's 5.
All right, well, KB, you've got me. I mean, I really want to go back to Hawaii now.
Yeah, my pitch is just do it. I'm excited for you guys to learn more about Hawaii from the actual Hawaiian man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still don't fully understand how you said you learned how to be a human in Hawaii. Does that mean you just like you
I'm just saying shit?
Learned how to see? Okay.
I learned how to be one with the earth. I felt like a real human.
You discovered the aloha spirit.
I was like meant to be on this earth.
Oh, okay. That may have been the shrooms talking.
This was that's what it was.
Okay.
Just the aloha spirit. That's all I had.
Yep. All right. Well, let's now talk to Makua Rothman.
All right.
Shaka bra.
Yeah. Peace.
Today's episode of Drop a Pin is brought to you by our friends at DraftKings Casino. DraftKings Casino has your playbook for gaming action all season long. You can play thousands of popular slots for a shot at jackpots. Over $400 million has already been awarded. Some of that to our guy, Marty Mush. Marty goes on and plays all the time as part of Coin Boys, and he makes a ton. Well, I don't know if he makes a ton. He has a good time. I guess that's what it's all about whenever you're playing the slots. New players get 500 spins on Huff and Puff over 10 days. Download the app, use the code DROP, and claim your spins after your first $5 wager. Get in the game with DraftKings Casino, home of the largest jackpot win in online casino history. The crown is yours with DraftKings. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends at Marzetti. Spice up lame when you dip with Marzetti Ranch on game day. I went around the office with our friends here doing a little bit of a video. Let them dip a couple sticks of celery and carrots into the Marzetti spicy ranch that's seasoned with Tabasco, and it can alleviate tame tasting foods like mozzarella sticks, pizza, and that dastardly celery that I already mentioned. Even if your team loses a bunch of game this season and your parlays don't play out, your mouth can still be a winner on game day when you're ranch with Marzetti. Find Marzetti Ranch at your local grocery store, refrigerated by fruits and veggies, or visit marzetti.com to learn more. If your ranch has to go in the refrigerator, that's how you know it's good. That's Marzetti. It's in the refrigerator at the grocery store. Go get some today.
Okay, now on the pod, we have Makua Rothman, a surf champion, a musician, the guy who has apparently surfed the tallest wave in Hawaii at 100 feet. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you folks? Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of our viewers like aren't really well versed on surf culture in Hawaii. Is it something that if you are born and raised in Hawaii, you are expected to do, and if you don't surf, you're almost seen as weird?
No, Hawaii has a lot of different sports that people play. I mean, we have Tua Tagovailoa right now, who's a quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. You know, there's been some of my classmates and people I went to school with are Super Bowl champions. Hawaii is really well versed in athletics, and surfing is just a way of calling everybody together. Regardless if you surf, you swim, our people actually came from the ocean. So it's so much more important to us, the ocean, in the context of it being a gathering place more than just you having to be a surfer. Being a surfer is kind of a calling, I believe.
Okay. And now, like, did you get into surfing because your father also loved surfing?
Yeah, I got into surfing as a young child. My father used to take me a lot, but a lot of the reason I'm a surfer, it's kind of like that Moana movie. Once upon a time, I lived in a tent on the beach, and seemed like my only friend was the ocean. Everything on land sucked, and every time I got in the sea, it felt good. So it was a place for me. And my name Makua Kai means guardian or father of the sea, and it's just something that called my name, and I was into.
Calls me.
See what I mean?
And you're from the North Shore of Oahu, or?
I'm from the North Shore of Oahu, yes, born and raised right there, Sunset Beach, Paumalu, actually. And yeah, beautiful place to grow up in, and to have the 8 Mile Miracle. They call it 7, but it's really 8. Stretch of beach where the best waves in the world are, I believe. It was probably a pretty good idea to be a surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went up that way about 5 years ago, and it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. The roadside stands with the fish that was fresh that you could grab like a fish taco on your way to the beach. Amazing.
What was your favorite thing when you came to the North Shore?
I mean, honestly, some of the food that was super fresh that was caught, just how friendly the people. Like, we went up there and we spent the day at Waimea, and then we kept going, and I was just in awe of the beauty. Like, the whole trip from Waikiki out there, it's just, you don't look at a dirty spot or a gross spot. It's just every square foot of that area is just beautiful.
Yeah, everybody takes pride in keeping it country, keep the country. And unfortunately, a lot of people only get to see that Waikiki side of Hawaii, that kind of more, plastic manufactured aloha on that side. And, the people there that they don't really get to experience, the local people that actually live in Waikiki, I really believe people appreciate when they get to experience that side with those people. And just like when you come to the North Shore, it's a different experience. We really work hard to welcome people and show lots of aloha. And by that, I mean, as well, taking care of our place so that when you come, it looks, very pristine and like paradise as well.
Nice. Yeah.
So I know the North Shore has some of the best surfing on all of the islands. Is surfing very competitive in a way where like certain surf clubs will be very protective of like we control this break. You guys can't surf here. This is our territory.
That was a nice way of asking that question. Yeah, no, it it came to be, I mean, surfing was the sport of kings. You know, at one time in Hawaii, when there was makahiki and there was no wars, a lot of the conflict was decided through surfing. A lot of royalty or prominent people would marry their children off through different types of competitions. Surfing was one of them. And so it was only right, you know, around the 60s or 70s, you know, the kind of mid 70s, where people came to Hawaii and started exploiting the places for commercial benefit. And there were people that stood up for the places and the people so that they could get waves. You know, people came and obviously thought they could just do whatever they wanted. And that's not aloha, that's not respect. So we also had to, there was groups of people who stood up for their places and their people. And it was pretty vicious at times. It wasn't nice. It wasn't but I don't think they were aiming for nice. I think when you protect something that you feel is very close and dear to your heart or your culture, sometimes you have to defend it very strongly, and that's what they did.
Yeah, I would imagine that people that were going there were just looking at surfing as a sport or like a leisurely activity, whereas the locals are looking at it as culture and tradition. Like there's so much more behind it than just stepping on a board.
Well, it's one thing to go there and think of it that way as leisure, and it's great to do that. But remember that people live there. Remember that other people surf here every day, and there's children and kids trying to become those people, you know, and look up to them. And they, you know, once upon a time, it was just take everything you can. And the culture's really changed on the beach there nowadays, and I think it's changed in many ways. A lot more beneficial for the commercialization of surfing and the local people, and really seeing how it coexists in an awesome way, so everybody can have fun and enjoy what's meant to be enjoyed in the sea.
And I would say surfing like a 10-foot wave, that's about, you know, having fun, enjoying yourself. When you go out there trying to surf a 100-foot wave, that's a serious endeavor, which I don't even know if I would call it fun, because if you fall at the wrong time, you could die. Like, when did you feel like you were finally ready to try conquering these monster waves?
I don't ever think I'm actually ready still to this day. It's just, you know, one of those things. You're ready to ride the bull, you kind of just get on and ride it. But being brought up under Laird Hamilton and Derek Donner, and in that era when, you know, that tow and surfing, that strap crew was really created outside of my house at backyards. They used to tow in on the Zodiacs. I think it was like Herbie Fletcher and a few others that really did it first. But when they really started to dial in the tow and surfing, I kind of was a guinea pig. I was a kid. They would just take me out there and be like, you know, he'll do it. And but to be mentored by someone like Laird Hamilton, who's still doing it, still pushing his body to limits and doing things no other human can do, really, it was a blessing. So to know that I had the guidance of someone like that really kept me honest, and it kept me feeling like I really could do this. You know, I've been through it with the best and trained by the best, and I just went out there and kind of just said, "C'est la vie, let's see what happens."
And we were talking a little bit earlier how it's cool that people from the Polynesian area of the world can observe water and know, like, oh, there's land out here, that they can observe the way that the tides are moving, much more than somebody like me. When you're learning how to do those 100-foot waves, the big waves, are they out there teaching you like how to identify different lines that you should take, when you should go? Like, how involved of, like, almost like a science of looking at things, how involved is that for you still?
Yeah, coming up for me was different. You know, I see a lot of people nowadays, they buy a jet ski or they get these flotation devices and they go out there and, you know, they might be crazy, so they try and do crazy things. But when it was created, there wasn't a lot of safety equipment available. So you had to be very calculated. You had to know your lineups, you had to know the swells. The maps and the forecasting wasn't as good. So you really had to know the ocean. And that starts from learning as a child in the shore break. And you kind of get your lick-ins or your poundings, and you figure out how to operate in the ocean and the currents close to shore. You get older, you start moving out and you start moving out. So through trial and error and really using some of those navigational skills from our ancestors, learning about the currents, lineups, knowing the reef, diving the reef when it's flat, knowing where the wave's going to break because you know how the reef is built. A lot of that stuff was a necessity and really needed to be done for them to even allow me to come and surf those waves with them to learn, because they knew not only was my life in danger, but I had to be knowledgeable enough to save them as well. Because no matter how professional you are, the ocean can trump everything, and you will be put into a bad situation. And so for them to know that I was ready to, on the level of being able to know where I was, so that I could save other people as well, should something happen.
Were there times that you fell trying to surf a monster wave?
Oh man, there was so many.
So many. Okay.
So many wipeouts. And it's funny because Derek Donor, I was towing him in one time outside of Sunset. It was 30 feet. I was probably maybe 16 years old. I just was really kind of getting to the swing of things. And he fell on a really big wave. And I kind of panicked because I didn't want to leave him there. So I tried to get the jet ski to him as soon as possible. And I was going through the whitewash after the wave breaks. And I was rushing and trying to get there early, and I ended up losing the ski. So both of us were stuck, a mile out to sea in 30-foot waves. And we get next to each other, and I'm like, what do we do now? He goes, we swim. And so those kind of instances really taught me to be patient, be calm, and that both people need to know their abilities, so that when that stuff happens, we swam to the beach, and the lifeguards and the firemen, everybody was standing on the beach, and they said, "Oh, we looked through the binocular and we knew it was, Derek and Makua, so we knew they had it, so they let us swim into the beach." And it was pretty good to know that even the water safety and the lifeguards and everybody knew that we were prepared and some of the best watermen in the world. So they let us do our thing.
When you fall in a big wave, like how long will you need to hold your breath? Because sometimes that can hold you under for a while.
You need to hold your breath as long as the ocean holds you under.
Okay. Yeah.
The timing is, it's weird because your heart rate's going so fast. It's like you're doing a fast sprint, or you're running uphill for a minute or two, and then you try and hold your breath. So if you need to hold your breath for 2 minutes at full maximum heart rate, you're probably going to pass out. You want to be able to, you don't want to have to hold your breath, let's say, more than a minute, because in waves that big, heart rate that high, most humans are going to get pretty lightheaded. And that's why you got to do those interval trainings and underwater training to hold your breath, because you don't know how long you'll be under, really.
And how far, like, I know when I assume when you're having a big wave like that, it's because the pressure of the ocean is going up against the reef that's way more shallow than where the water was coming from. When you're riding 100-foot wave, how shallow is the water at the bottom of that wave typically in the area that you did it at?
So some of those waves are different. They get really big and break on shallow reef. I've torn my face off, ripped my lip off my chin. My smile was under my face on a really big wave in shallow water. And sometimes the bigger ones that break in deeper water are much safer. Even though you're under longer, you're not likely to hit the bottom. So it just depends where you're at. But Jaws, people do hit the bottom. It's not that deep. I mean, it's probably at the deepest 30 foot on the deep spots, and shallowest, there's got to be some 15-foot spots where that's not very deep when you have a 100-foot wave crashing down.
No,
So,
Not at all.
yeah, you're definitely stuck between a rock and a hard place when you fall.
Yeah, for sure.
Something I've heard about Hawaii, I don't even know if it's true, that there's like a big divide between the white Hawaiians and the native Hawaiians. Now, I know your dad was from the mainland and your mom was from Hawaii. How did you navigate that, kind of being having a foot in both worlds?
Well, yeah, the thing that people don't understand is Hawaiian is a nationality, and Kanaka Maoli is a race. The blooded Hawaiians. I have this color skin. It ain't as brown as the Hawaiian-looking Hawaiians, but there's blood in there. And so for me, it was, kind of like a Bob Marley thing. It wasn't brown enough for the brown guys. It wasn't white enough for the white guys. But for me, this wasn't what it was about. For me, being Kanaka and knowing who I was more important than perceiving the difference between white and brown skin. You know, to me, it wasn't about a skin color. It was about how much could I do to represent my people through my skill. How much can I represent humanity at the end of the day? Being a world-class athlete, being a native Hawaiian that might have come from oppression, or our people were oppressed, you know, very badly at one point. And I know that there is a lot of animosity towards a skin color, but that's not the right way. And that really does exist in Hawaii big time. You know, that when I went to school, they had Kill Haole Day.
Oh yeah, because so is haole, is that the term for white Hawaiians or white people who live in Hawaii?
Haole was anybody that wasn't from there. Yeah. You know, it doesn't matter the skin color, but because of what happened in 1893 and 1895, where the overthrow of the Hawaii Kingdom was, the white skin color got the label.
Yep.
And it's there's lots of books and there's lots of stuff online you can go to research that kind of stuff. But I really like to move past that kind of stuff and know that it doesn't matter the color of your skin. It matters the aloha in your heart, the vibe you emit, how you treat people, how you treat yourself. At the end of the day, it really matters to how you're going to treat others.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't like their self or their situation. They blame others for whatever it is. And I think that living by your actions, not your words, really, really matters. Mm-hmm. I think that we could change that. We can change that divide. We really can if we be conscious of it.
Yeah. I know Hawaii obviously gets tons of tourists, and that the tourists can be annoying to the locals at times. If me and Chaps return to Hawaii, which we'd love to do, what are some ways we can avoid annoying the locals as a tourist?
I mean, how would you want anybody to act in your own home?
Yeah.
Somebody came to your home, what vibe and what manners would you want them to practice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's someone's home. It's a lot of people's home. It's where people live every day. People just need to have respect and think, how would I want someone to act inside of my own home? It's really that simple. And tourists do get a bad rap because a few bad ones. There are people, no matter where you go in the world, that act out. Even in our own communities, there are people that act a certain way that's not pono, we would say here in Hawaii. And we can't really cast the blame on every tourist that comes here because that's not fair. There's a lot of tourists that have come here that have helped Hawaii. There's a lot of white people and people of color, people of different races that have come to Hawaii and really helped the Hawaiian people a lot. Mm-hmm. And people those generous actions tend to be overshadowed by those bad apples because sometimes they do very bad things that put bad taste in people's mouth. And I can understand where some of that comes from. But just, how would you want people to act in your own home? You come here.
Pick up their fucking trash.
Yep.
Pick up their trash is a big one.
You don't want somebody to just throw their eat at your house and leave their mess on the table and throw the trash on the ground when there's a trash can right there. So it's really that simple.
Mm-hmm. I mean, something I wanted to ask about, growing up, you always see the shaka and I'll do it myself, but I don't really know what it means. What's the meaning behind the shaka?
Well, the shaka was created from a guy that had no middle fingers.
Okay.
So he had to do that. And
he's probably waving normal or just didn't have his fingers.
The shaka is just like anything, a wave, a hello, a good gesture of good faith that, when someone's shakaing at you, they should mean well. Mm-hmm. It's a gesture of good faith, of good meaning. Hi, hello, how are you? How's it going? That kind of thing. Hang loose, pass by somebody and it's kind of on the street and you're looking at them and they throw up a shaka, it's all good.
Yeah, sort of like I come in peace, something like that.
Yeah, just, what's up, dude, bro? However everybody else does it in the world to just show, people maybe don't speak the same language, especially the tourists here, and a shaka goes a long way in Hawaii.
So let's say somebody is coming to visit you for the first time. One of us, we're going to visit you. We're living a day in the life with you of the best things to do in the North Shore to get the real Hawaiian experience. What are you taking us to do?
Oh, if you want to get a real Hawaiian experience, I'm going to take you to a kalo farm and make you start cleaning the taro patch
Okay.
in the mud. And then start maybe preparing some food to cook. And then we'll go out and catch some fish
Yep.
and go surf. Get out there, go have a good time, surf, come in, cook that food and eat it, play some nice music, some Hawaiian music, jam on some ukulele, and do it all with friends and family and the ones that matter to us. That'll be a day in Hawaii for me, and definitely going and giving thanks to the animals, the ocean for allowing us to be able to harvest that food from the land, to be able to go and enjoy in the kai in the ocean, really going and giving our thanks through, however you want to do it. But there's protocols that when we go, we ask to enter, and then we say thank you for having us there. So those are some of the things that
That's really nice.
a lot of people should learn while they're here is how to enter and how to leave spaces so that they respect it. Like when they come in, they knock, hello, can I come in? Stuff like that. You don't just barge into spaces. We have real spiritual connections to these places in Hawaii.
Do you have a favorite Hawaiian meal?
Ooh, I love fish and poi.
Oh, okay. Poi. That's like made out of the taro root?
Taro root, yes. It's made out of kalo. And they smash it up with water or you eat it just out of the ground, out of the imu, the underground oven. Or, of course, nowadays you steam it or boil it. But probably fish and poi would be my go-to.
Let's go.
For the people that have never heard the official fish of Hawaii's name, can you say it for us?
The humu humu nuku nuku a pua'a. It's a state fish, so I don't know if that's the real official fish or that's a statehood fish, but there's that's the most famous fish, and I love when people have to say it.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say it earlier when we were talking about Hawaii earlier, but I was like, I will absolutely butcher it. There's no way, because I got a shirt with it on there, and I was like trying to read it over and over again. I was like, that's just not for me.
There's a lot of like surfing slang terms, and we know a few of them. Like, is kook a term? Does that just mean someone? Does that just mean someone who doesn't know what they're doing out there?
Those words have so many meanings. Someone on the football field that doesn't belong on there, that's just really getting in the way, could be a kook.
Yeah.
Somebody that, jumps on the soccer field, starts running around during the middle of the game for absolutely no reason because they're drunk, could be a kook. So there's lots of, but in surfing, it's definitely people who don't respect their limitations. They try and go out there and surf where they're not supposed to be. They get in the way, they get people hurt. And those are definitely kooks.
All right. What are some other slang terms that we should know?
There's a book called Beach Grit that they wrote that a lot of us defined the terms of all the different slangs for surfing and stuff. But I mean, there's like gnarly and shred and all those kind of ones. But I mean, it's just charge hard. Charge would be one. Ripping would be another one.
Pitted.
Surfing really good. Eat it. White ball. Stuff like that.
Okay. And a charge, what does that mean? Does that like...
Charging means you're all in. Means you're going. You're charging.
Okay. All right.
You're going. When you come up that A gap and Junior Seau was sitting there or Ray Lewis, you better charge, because if not, you're going to get run over.
Yeah. And I know you've kind of recently been transitioning from surfing to music.
Yeah, I've always played music. It's part of Hawaii. Like I said, we come in and we jam. But really taking a run at doing it seriously. I've created a record label, Villains for Good. As you can see here on my shirt.
Yep.
And my Makua band project is doing well. We have, I got to collab with a bunch of great artists. I've been putting out songs full on and really just trying to take it beyond the reef in Hawaii here, spread it to the world. I've always jammed here and jammed around town. In 2012, I believe, I released my first album with John Feldman and Mountain Apple Records, who was Brother Iz's record label.
Okay.
And put an album out back then, and it was so funny. I had a clause in my contract that said 20-foot clause that the waves are 20 foot and over, and I'm still on the Big Wave World Tour going for a world title. I can take off a few days of tour if I'm not the opener to go and win these world titles. So I've done that. I'm still training super hard. I want to win the Eddie Aikau one day. I want to get out there. I believe. I don't even need to believe. I know I can win a few more events. So music really takes up the time in between not being a full-on, full-time competitor anymore, and gives me purpose beyond being a professional athlete.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have a hard time transitioning from professional athlete 24/7 to doing something else or being something else.
Yeah.
And I think the music journey, being sober, you know, coming into sobriety, and after thinking I was the rock star and world champion and World Cup champion, all these things, I really lost my way at one point. And I came from a family where showing any sign of weakness means death. And not knowing the difference between reaching out for help, vulnerability, and all those things being real superpowers in this world. And nothing was done overnight by one single person. And really spreading a message of you need to reach out for help, reach out for it, and sharing my stories that I went through some of my songs, man. You know, God and the Devil, Pilly the Kid, Let's Go Then, all the things I like to write about, medication, are things that I've been through, and trying to connect people through music and products with a purpose. You know, you put this Villains for Good shirt on, you know, we don't want it just because you want to look cool. You know, there's a responsibility that you need to have to know that you want to maximize yourself, your potential. And when you put this on, you better lead by example to show others that there's another way and the right way to do things.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
How did you first make the transition? Because you were obviously raised surfing, but it's probably very hard to take a hobby like surfing and then make a living doing it. When did you first realize, like, you know what, I might be able to go professional?
Well, I caught that 66-foot wave and got $1,000 per foot right out of high school. You know, I was
what?
So, like,
yeah.
that was the rules of the tournament? They're like, whoever catches the biggest wave will pay you $1,000 per foot?
Yeah, it was called the Billabong XXL, and it was a event or like a one-off for all the big wave stuff, because big waves was all about the small wave surfing. There was no big wave circuit back then. You know, when I was, I think, 16, I surfed the Big Wave World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, was Garrett McNamara won. Me and my partner came in fourth. We were 16 years old, surfing against all the biggest and best towing surfers in the world at Jaws. So it was at that time of towing surfing when there was a vein to get in, because I wasn't the best small wave surfer. I wasn't your Huntington Beach superhero small wave guy, but I knew that I had a chance to excel in very large waves. And at that time, big wave surfing was being monetized. It was being commercialized a lot more. There was a lot more opportunity to make a career as a big wave surfer than just, you know, your average competitive surfer. You know, greatest surfer to ever step on the surfboard, I believe, Kelly Slater. You know, he's done it the best. And being raised around him and him being around our family and watching his determination and dedication to what is possible when you put your mind to something in the sport of surfing was amazing to watch. And, you know, that big wave tour in 2014, I believe it was started. And I became the WSL Big Wave World Champion, the first one for the World Surf League. And so leading up to that, you know, big wave surfing really was put on the spotlight, and I ran with it. I knew that was my vein, and I stuck with it.
Yeah.
It is really interesting about Hawaii and how your superstar athletes stick around and like come back for the kids, and like you said, Kelly Slater being there for you, BJ Penn as far as MMA goes, Marcus Mariota for football. I think that's awesome how you guys stick with your culture and bring kids up that idolize you guys. I'm sure that there's a ton of kids in Hawaii who look up to you as far as what they want to accomplish, and you're like an uncle figure.
Well, you figure there's only so many of us that actually make it like I said, beyond the reef and get the opportunity and are blessed with those opportunities. So it's part of our kuleana, our responsibility to come back and help our people. You know, it's been that tradition since beginning of time. Whoever was the chief, whoever had the most amount of resources was tasked with sharing that, spreading that, and coming back and making sure the village was taken care of. So you can even look as far as look at Max Holloway, what Max Holloway's doing right now. He's the face of our sport, you know, UFC, one of the biggest in the world. And look at it goes beyond that. Jason Momoa and the Chief of War.
Yeah.
You know, I talk with cousin Jason all the time, and he's really bringing our culture to the world, not just coming back and helping the people here, but really being able to take our culture and share it with the world. And I really idolize that. And I do try that with my music as well, that when I go, no matter what language I sing in, if it's just English, I always want to bring that spirit of aloha and have our people and our place recognized, because so many people love it. You get on stage, you get on a platform, and everybody has a story about Hawaii, but that divide we were talking about earlier, and they're kind of afraid of, you know, the white man in Hawaii or the whatever it may be, bringing our culture, sharing it beyond the reef, and giving those people the opportunity to really dive deeper and learn more about who we are and what we are. I think that really resonates with a lot of us that do make it past the reef. We want to bring all of that back and those resources back to Hawaii in any capacity to help our next generation and Hawaii flourish.
And I know this might be a huge theme to kind of describe, but you've mentioned it a few times. Can you describe, I guess in the best of your ability, what the spirit of aloha means, what that means?
Well, to me, it's going to mean a lot different than somebody else.
Okay.
Aloha, I don't believe, and this is just my belief, is not a general, it was commercialized, a general thing. And you know how they say, you know, aloha means hello and goodbye and share and all these things. But I think if you live a certain way and you lead by example, you don't need to say aloha, you show aloha. And I think every culture and people around the world have aloha. They just, Hawaii has a word for it, right? And I think that, especially on this side of my journey where I'm at right now, it's really maximizing myself, maximizing my opportunities to show hard work and dedication and discipline pays off, in hopes that the aloha shows through my work and my actions. And that really gives me purpose and means something to me when I do these things. You know, I want to show aloha. I just don't want to say it. I want people to show up and feel they're a part of Hawaii. They're a part of the aloha spirit because of the way that I operate and that a vibe that I bring into the room.
Was there a time where that kind of clicked for you, like the responsibility as far as going back and giving back? Was there an age or a triggering event that got you to the place where you are as far as wanting to mentor?
A place where it all started was getting myself clean and sober and really being able to understand who I was. And it's a lifelong journey. I'll be always working towards maximizing myself, you know, and in every opportunity that I have, being grateful, knowing that I could always have less than I have now. We always want more, but knowing I could have a lot less, and really sticking to a set of a value system to live by it. And it clicked through the journey of being sober, really diving deeper into understanding what was keeping me in a negative state of mind and a negative vibration. And it just keeps on clicking. It's like a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And just like I put up a post today, I had to sit back and put my words on the other side of the room and reach out, you know, and dive deeper into, you know, I'm starting to, you know, move forward, and the music's starting to move forward. The message is starting to move forward, but taking time to remind myself to step back and really look at the picture and say, okay, you're at this point. What's going to benefit you the most? How are you going to use your time most wisely right now to keep this train going? You know, everybody wants to win a world championship. Everybody wants to do all these things, but when you get it, they don't know there's so much more responsibility, and it's so much harder, you know, to actually keep it going and do the right thing And I believe that it doesn't get easier. We just get stronger. And that's kind of where I'm at with that. And that's how it's been clicking for me lately.
Great answer.
Yeah. I just had one last question. It's not related to Hawaii, but I know you're a big wave surfer. Have you ever surfed that break in Portugal that has the largest waves in the world?
That's up for debate. I don't know if we truly found the biggest wave in the world yet. You know, there's a lot of places that are undiscovered that haven't been surfed, but as of now, Nazare has been producing some of the biggest waves in the world. That place is amazing. The spirit the Portuguese people have in Nazare is big aloha. From the mayor, who really supports surfing and the culture of surfing there, to the restaurant owners and the bed and breakfast and hotels. That place has some of the biggest waves in the world, but I'll tell you what, Nazare also has some of the biggest aloha in the world. And it's so awesome to see them taking a culture that started in Hawaii, and that ocean was feared once upon a time. They have a god or a figure up there, and that ocean took a lot of fishermen because they didn't understand the reef and how it broke. And they were really afraid of that spot, and now they celebrate it. And it's great to see surfing bring that celebration to that town, the economic growth in that town, a lot of the things that have been brought there. And it looks like they've been prospering, and it's a blessing to be invited there to surf there. And I always enjoy it. And I want to say thank you to the people of Nazare and Portugal for always welcoming not just myself, but every surfer that comes there into your home. And hopefully they do the right thing and they treat it like their own home.
Yes.
There you go.
And then actually one more question. What do you remember about surfing that 100-foot wave? Because, like, is it sort of the thing, like, you just blacked out because you were so in the zone, or was the world moving in slow motion and you clearly remember it?
Well, I know one thing about that wave. I remember telling them I did not want it entered in any type of measurement or any type of contest or anything like that, because that wave wasn't for awards. You know, I surfed that day for the people to get on a platform and have people share their voices and have me speak on behalf of a wave that I caught that gave me a platform to help others share their stories. And that's really what that wave was about. So was it 100 feet? We'll never know. But I'll tell you what, it definitely helped 100 people for sure with that message.
Yeah,
That's
for
awesome.
Sure.
What a great spot to end. Thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate your story.
Yeah. And,
thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate you guys. And hopefully we talk soon. Everybody out there, I love you guys. Show aloha. Drop a pin. Thank you guys so very much. See you guys soon.
Yes.
See ya.
Drop a Pin is presented by Fair Harbor. When the temps cool down, don't settle for stiff layers. Just a couple weeks ago here, we had our first real little snap I threw on my quarter zip that I got from there. Absolutely comfortable. Our next partner, Fair Harbor, lets you keep that easy summer comfort without giving up on style. Most pieces you'll see this season make you choose between style and comfort. With Fair Harbor's latest collection, you'll get both. Summer ends and suddenly real clothes come back into play. Luckily, Fair Harbor makes the switch feel easy. Why have one pair of pants for work, another for weekend, and a third for dinner when our next sponsor makes one that covers all three? This podcast is brought to you by Fair Harbor, and your fall's lineups feeling light. Grab their best-selling tees, soft layers, and pants that work with everything. I hate certain pants that I've had that they get all stretchy, they get stretched out, they don't fit you right. That is not Fair Harbor at all. Fair Harbor's Horizon pants is a rare find that you'll end up wearing everywhere, work, weekends, and all the in-betweens. Once you try them, good luck wearing anything else. Head to fairharborclothing.com/wonton and use the code WONTON for 20% off your order. Once again, that's Fair Harbor, HARBOR, or for those folks that like the phonetic alphabet, Hotel Alpha Romeo Bravo Oscar Romeo. Clothing.com/wonton for 20% off, and make sure you use our promo code Wonton so that they know that we sent you. Let's get hopping back into the podcast. Here we go.
We can't smoke in here, right?
Like actual weed?
Yeah.
No, dude. Oh, Well, I don't know.
I mean,
No, we'd have to ask Big Cat.
yeah.
And he's gonna say no.
Well, we could probably like tape up the smoke detector.
Goldie used to do this all the time. in
No,
college.
the first thing I did when I moved into my
But look how porous
house.
this room is. The smoke would stay in the walls forever.
Yeah. Bad idea. I'm blaming it on the weed.
Smoke that shit out, though, chap.
I did.
This should be like the hot box room.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think we can get sploofs.
What?
What's a sploof?
Spliff?
Spliff?
Yeah, spliff.
Oh yeah.
What did I say?
Sploof. I was like, is that a new thing? I haven't heard of it.
I didn't want to be the one to say it because I thought I was going to be an old or something.
Yeah, so what do you think, Don?
I'm ready to fucking.
I'm ready.
So Theodore Roosevelt, second president.
All right. Are we rolling? Are we live?
Yeah, we're rolling.
All right. Yeah. Spider, take it away.
Oh, no.
No. Just joking. Chaps, you can take it away. Or should I introduce you?
Yeah, why don't you introduce the segment?
Okay. Hey, how are you? Welcome back to high school. Today's teacher is Chaps McNeely, and he's here to tell us about the man who once said, walk softly but carry a big stick. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Big T, Teddy Roosevelt.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about Teddy, and I have to admit to all of you guys that what we just consumed was 51% THC, so we're in for an absolute ride. Dave looks fried. I am too. We're going to see if
I
we
wish
can
I
get
had
through
known
it.
that.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
51%?
Yeah, I thought we were smoking dad weed. Thought this was going to be like.
You'll be fine.
No, this is our time to shine. I noticed a little bit last week that we weren't, I don't think, high enough. Way too coherent. So I wanted to make sure that we do the segment properly today. And Dave, you look like you're ready. Spidey, you look like you're ready.
Mars.
Ready
I
to
can't
go.
see Donnie's eyes, but I assume based on his reaction that he is locked in. All right. So I've actually done a podcast with Dave about this book that we're going to talk about. And it's just one part of Teddy Roosevelt's life. But there's a couple things that I like about Teddy that I think his story really resonates with a lot of people if they would know it. So Teddy Roosevelt is looked at this giant of a man, like that he is the wilderness guy, like he is the one that established the national park system because
He was the bull moose.
Exactly right. He's the bull moose, and he would go all over, charted different trails in Utah and Colorado, but he didn't always have that life. When he was young, he suffered from really bad childhood asthma, where all of his brothers were doing frontier stuff because they learned it from their dad. And Teddy was left home alone while they would go on weeks-long hunting expedition, and he would be back with his sisters. Well, he hated that, obviously, as the only boy that was left back. So he started going out, and his dad said, I know you can't do this for long, but we're going to be gone some when it's cold outside. You're going to need to be able to chop some wood and put it in the house. Well, he had really bad asthma, so that was going to be tough. And he went out there every day and pushed himself to exhaustion, where he built his lungs enough where he kind of got over asthma by doing that, by working his ass off. And so his whole life, in order to keep his lungs strong, he was avid at working out. He was a boxer when he was in Golden Glove champion when he was in college.
Yeah.
He did all kinds of stuff.
So he pretty much beat asthma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
he
incredible.
He walked outside and said, I'm going to chop wood until I beat asthma.
Yes. And I mean, he established that for himself, and he was tough as nails. Go ahead, Spidey.
Is this like
Spider, you raise your goddamn hand.
yeah, sorry, that's my fault, Professor. Like how much of this story is like exaggerated to make him seem more profound?
I don't think I don't think a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've listened
I
to
just
multiple
wasn't sure.
podcasts on him. That was pretty accurate.
I wasn't sure
And then-
how, like, a
yeah.
lot of presidents, they have, like, they did this, they did that.
Yeah,
No,
you kind of get lionized after
what's
you're
it,
dead.
like Abraham Lincoln cut down the cherry tree? No, that was George Washington. But like, we don't know if that actually happened.
Right.
This
Yeah.
stuff wasn't so long ago that we know it happened.
Yeah, we know that he was a
ago.
Golden Gloves champion
And
because
then-
it was documented in
Right.
like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
newspapers, and I mean just in general, it was 1912.
But so I think he went to Harvard or something. So, but he didn't want the reputation
Princeton, I think.
one of the Ivies, but he was like, I don't want to grow up soft. He believed that you need to put your body in extreme situations and like scenarios to make yourself as a human being stronger.
Right.
So I think maybe after college, he just went to the frontier and kind of worked as a cowboy for maybe 6 months. And someone tried to pick a fight with him at the bar. I think they called him Four Eyes or whatever. And he beat the living shit out of him and then became like a local legend, even out there, like on the frontier.
Yeah, and there's a bar in San Antonio that was the Rough Rider bar because they would go through all the time. And like any military dude ever is trying to go get a drink in that place just because you want to have that connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Spider, did you have something?
No, I think Dave
I was going to say, kind of to answer Spider's question and to piggyback off everything that you two just said, I have read the book that they're talking about. One of the absolute fucking coolest books, just the imageries and all that. But your original question, it was kind of the theme of his life, pushing himself to the... Like, he had like a fear of feeling bad for himself to the point where he had to outdo everything he's already done. So that's just... Yeah. Like the kind of guy he actually was.
Something I admire about him. He's the first president, I think, ever who wanted to start a war, but also then went and fought on the front lines of that war. Because he was like, yeah, let's go to war, but don't worry, lead from the front.
Yeah.
And that's when he formed the Rough Riders in the Spanish-American War. And then
Badass
even
motherfucker.
when World War I broke out, I did not know this. He kept on asking Woodrow Wilson, send me over to fight. I want to lead a battalion. And like it would ask him every month. And Woodrow Wilson's like, I don't think that's a good idea, and never gave him the green light.
Yeah, he was always pissed at other presidents for like the rest of his life, which ended way too soon. And there is obviously a lot of stuff that he did or put out there that wasn't the best. Right. We know that. We're not going to focus on that right now. So let me set the scene a little bit. In 1912, he was coming to the end of his presidency. He had served 2 terms already, and he wanted to go for a 3rd term. Well, other Republicans didn't want him to be able to run again. Like, they wanted to have Woodrow Wilson come in, and he was going to take over the party. That was the one that they had kind of designated to take Teddy's place because they didn't want a 3rd term for anyone. So Teddy was still out on the stump. He knew he was behind, so he formed his own party. He took it and he was like, okay, well, I'm going to go separate. I'm going to go independent, and I'm going to create my own political party. And when he did that, he did his last speech, where they call it, I think, making your last case, was what like Harris and Trump did, and every other president basically before that. He was in New York City outside of Madison Square Garden giving a speech on the stage, super fiery, and he got shot while he was doing the speech. It went through his shoulder, and the Secret Service was trying to come and get him, and he said no, kind of, like Alex Pereira when Herb Dean steps in and he's down. Like, no, and it was the same kind of thing. Like, he was the Alex Pereira. He put his hand out and said no, and finished giving his fucking speech, and then went to the hospital.
Yeah,
that's badass.
Take down a bull moose. Is the quote, right?
Absolutely.
Or takes more than a bullet to take down a bull moose.
Right, 1 bullet, I think.
Did he have something in his jacket pocket that potentially saved his life?
I don't remember if it was the Bible or the Constitution, but it was one that makes people feel like it was awesome.
If it was the Constitution, it's like, this guy means business.
Yeah. You get shot through the Constitution. How that happened?
Spider, can you fact check?
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, that's a great fact check.
This is going to be my one interjection. That's why I pushed the mic.
I think it was Catcher in the Rye, actually.
What?
Actually, that sounds right.
It was just the novel. Catcher in the Rye.
Catching bullets, yeah.
No, that's Catcher in the Rye is what they found in the bag of the dude who shot John Lennon.
Okay, very different.
Yeah.
So he got shot, went out there, which is shocking that didn't cause him to win. Like, if we saw that now, like how big that was for Trump.
That
really.
Absolutely flipped a lot of people this past summer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That scene, say what you want about the guy. That was powerful.
Yeah.
It had to be similar back then.
They're saying it passed through a 50-page thick copy of his speech titled "Progressive Cause Greater Than Any Individual."
Oh, so it was
that he was
his
carrying in
his
his
speech.
jacket pocket.
It was the speech, and he still gave the speech, even
Yeah.
though it had a fucking bullet hole through it.
Yep. Fucking
Damn, that's
legend.
I love this story.
Yeah, it's such a
Yeah.
good story.
And then
So-
he went on to lose the election.
He went on to lose the election, which is crazy, like how much he was liked in office, and then he didn't win. But he didn't win, and he was pissed off about it, didn't know what he was going to do, went back to his property, and he was kind of just sitting around for the first time in his life. And then he got invited to go to South America in order to be a guest lecturer at a college. And when he went down there to be the guest lecturer, obviously the Secret Service goes. He has this big entourage that goes down with him. This is before commercial aviation. So he does all this, or aviation period. And he goes down, takes a boat down to South America, which takes him like 3 months to get there. Once he gets there, he starts doing the lectures, and he meets up with a guy, I forget his name, but he meets up with a guy that is like the main professor down there, and him and Teddy come up with this idea to go explore a river, an arm of the Amazon that had never been explored before. Like, it didn't have a name. Nobody had gone down this entire path. So Teddy goes back and gets all the gear that he's going to need, and then comes back down to the Amazon with everything that they think they're going to need, and he tasks somebody else to come up with this idea. So they bring canoes, they bring basically anything that you could possibly use for survival on the Amazon. But it was like survival
It's
on
like
the
the movie
Amazon.
Anaconda, I guess.
Pretty much.
Yeah, sort of.
With
Yeah.
our friend Ice Cube.
So they get all this gear that would not fit on what they need to go down the Amazon. Like, you can't take a fucking John boat down it. Like, you have to take shallow
skiff.
canoes. Yeah, you're not putting, I guess you could take a John boat, but they didn't have that. Like, they didn't have anything. The things that they built were just way too big. So then they had to get canoes from locals, and they had certain canoes that were just completely loaded down with gear. And once they did that, they had the ability to go down the Amazon, this river in the Amazon, in order to chart this territory, which Teddy was like super passionate about. But it wasn't just Teddy that was on this
If you
mission.
think about it, it's probably one of the last places on Earth where he could explore and be like, I'm the first person from the Western world exploring this part of the globe.
And think about how uncharted, I mean, no pun intended, the Amazon was at that time.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
still is. Like, we still don't know a ton about lots of parts of the Amazon.
What was the pun?
Huh?
What was the pun?
Uncharted.
Yeah, but is that a pun, or is that just is
That was
just a fact?
completely relevant to the conversation.
What?
What?
I'm confused now.
No, I'm sorry.
If I used pun incorrectly, I would like to formally apologize.
I think you used it incorrectly. I caught that. I'm
I
on
know,
your side
but
there.
I use it incorrectly.
This is great.
That's okay.
This is what high school is
Hey,
about.
I feel
It's
like
about-
for
this is what
after 50%
I could have
THC,
easily
I feel like
let
I'm
that
doing
slide.
pretty good.
Dude, I mean, your pun, like, it, whatever, when you said it, it didn't actually make me like, but I was like, it would be kind of funny to just end the conversation now by being like, what was the pun?
Yeah, that was fair, and you did.
It could have kept flowing. Let's get back on topic.
All right, so they start going down this. Oh, where I was at. It wasn't just Roosevelt and this guy. He brought down his son, who has a cool name, Kermit. Shout out Kermit.
Yep.
And Kermit, and they had like 30 or 40 other people that go with them. They're making their way down, and all the time they're coming across these huge barriers, which is totally to be expected when you're going down an uncharted spot in the Amazon. But they're coming across down logs. They're coming across piranhas at the first time, and they, like historians have said, that they might be the first Americans that saw piranhas in person. So they were figuring out that you can't get in the water with these fish because certain people were like legit losing their calves because they, like, that happened to a couple people on the trip. They were dealing with jaguars. They were dealing with caimans. They were dealing
Hostile
with
tribes,
crocodiles.
too, I think.
Oh, they were dealing with
definitely
tribes.
There were several times that they that they came across tribes. Some took them in and treated them nicely, and some they thought they were going to die if they didn't get out of there. And there was like some fights and skirmishes on the way. They had weapons, like they had guns, and so they were going down. But when you're going down the Amazon, like, obviously we know that there's
rapids. They didn't know when to expect those rapids. There's falls that are along the way. They didn't know when to expect those falls. Like in some places it would be, you would just be going around a slight bend where you can't see anything, and then the water rushes over and you're on a waterfall. So when they had all of their gear strapped into these canoes, sometimes they were going over waterfalls and they were losing entire canoes full of gear. And that could be medical gear, it could be penicillin, it could be any of those types of things that they would need to stay alive. Well, the numbers kept dwindling down because of all the different things that you come across in the Amazon. Several people drowned. Several people died of like malaria, and cholera was prevalent at the time too. They were dying of that. So they would separate those people from Teddy, and because they wanted to keep the U.S. president alive, obviously. And they come across all these different trials and tribulations, and it took them over 3 months to get it, or 9 months, excuse me. They were gone for 9 months charting this river. And Kermit, it fucked him up because Teddy was, this is how tough Teddy was. Teddy had just served 2 terms as president. I believe he was 48 years old at the time, that was way older in 1912.
Yes.
Like that was pretty old. But he was going through the jungle. He snapped his leg and dealt with the pain of having a completely shattered ankle. And he also got malaria while it was going on, and kept pushing.
I think at one point while this is all going on, he's quoted to saying, "Just leave my bones in South America."
Yeah.
Like
and Kermit wouldn't let him.
Because he had a super high fever. Like they estimate that his fever was like 104, 105.
Smashed leg.
For several days. And they're in the middle of legitimate nowhere. Like there's no easy way out. And Kermit, his son, tough as nails too, like he said, "We're not leaving you." So him and another guy put him on a litter made of bamboo, or made of some kind of sticks that are around there that's similar to bamboo, and dragged him through the thick jungle of the Amazon for another 6 weeks. Like they didn't drag him for 6 weeks, but there was a point where while they were in the canoe, it flipped over. They had to rescue Teddy out of it. And that's when he says that phrase, like he didn't know how much more he could go on, but he didn't want himself to be the reason that everybody else died. So he was like, "Just leave me here."
Yeah, but his son's like, "I don't want to see my dad die in the middle of some uncharted jungle."
Yeah, and Kermit, he was doing the rescuing while he had malaria too. So he had like 103, 104 temperature, was constantly having to get back in the water to cool off enough where he would have the ability to carry his dad while if I feel like I have 102 temperature, I'm basically weeping in my bed under the covers, not wanting to do anything, feeling like I'm cold as hell. In the Amazon, where you're dealing with those level of humidity, that level of underbrush where you can't even hardly walk, you have a little bit of mosquito netting, but you're dealing with insane mosquitoes, the fear of snakes that you don't know are around, the fear of crocodiles at any given point, the fucking piranhas, like all the different issues that you're facing, and you have 103, 104 temperature.
Yeah, what was the Sam, can you look up the actual quote he said about "leave my bones in South America"? I think it will come
he
up.
was like 5'9", 250, right? He was like an oxen. I don't know his exact proportions, but when he left the Amazon, he lost like 80 pounds on the trip.
Football stats?
Well, he lost like 80 pounds on the trip because of the malaria and shit. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
By the time they got out of it.
Tell Osborne, "I have already lived and enjoyed as much of my life as any 9 other men I know. I have had my full share, and if it is necessary for me to leave my bones in South America, I am quite ready to do so."
What a quote!
Wow,
what a fucking
dude!
legend,
I knew it was something legendary.
That quote might be lionized. Like that could be a lionized.
No,
quote.
because it says that he actually wrote it. So I think they might actually have it.
He
in
kept
his
a diary of the whole trip.
Oh, that's right. He had that.
I mean, that's a
the
badass.
diary. That's right. Yeah. Oh, also I
Tell
forgot.
Osborne. Who can act out this line the best here?
I
White
can't.
Sox Dave.
Yeah,
Uncle
White
Chaps is a
Do your
Marine.
best Teddy Roosevelt
I
impression.
can't do that.
I don't know
That'd
what he
be
sounded
desecrating
like.
the man.
Wait, do we know what he sounded like? Like, did he live in a day and age where we?
Yeah, there's
could-
voice recordings.
Okay, it's wild to think we'll never know. Oh, I think we do have Abraham Lincoln
I
recorded.
think we have Abraham Lincoln. Yeah.
There's like it was the earliest sound recording ever, but like every other person in history will never be able to like hear how they sounded actually.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like they have where they try to do it kind of like where they make the mummies talk.
Yeah.
They have
Oh,
that,
okay.
but I don't know how well that works. I used to do, if it's like if his uncle is like him, I used to do a decent FDR impression or voice, but I really can only do it for a Simply Safe ad. The best home security. Go back to the quote, Sam. I'll do it.
yeah,
I'll
Sam.
do it in that.
Yeah, here it goes.
Tell Osborne, I have already lived and enjoyed as much of life as any 9 other men I know. I've had my full share, and if it's necessary for me to leave my bones in South America, I am quite ready to do so.
I think that was
I
excellent.
like it. It
Should
sounded
be a
like
voice actor.
I would have heard
good.
that on the radio. Like if he was
Yeah.
doing like a live broadcast to the nation. Imagine it's like emergency broadcast. Teddy Roosevelt from South America.
Well, that's why I did learn to do it. Today is a day that will live in infamy.
Imagine that PSA. They're like, yeah, you know the ex-president?
Make America great
Whatever
again.
happened to that accent?
Oh, is that the Mid-Atlantic accent?
I don't-
There's something called a Mid-Atlantic accent. No, that there is a name for that. There's a
You don't
weird
hear
name
it
for that.
anymore, though.
It's kind of like the old-timey.
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
a sport broadcaster in
The old,
1920s.
give me your
like-
1-2.
Yeah,
Might be called the Atlantic
Hey
accent.
there, you old sack of potatoes, you old so-and-so.
Yes,
Transatlantic
the
and
Mid-Atlantic accent.
Yeah, transatlantic
Like,
accent.
did it?
Where did it go?
die?
Like,
Yeah,
no, I'm
we need-
sure it exists in some like small community in Virginia. And you
Hey
can
there,
just-
you.
Like with a super old guy.
and
or
everybody
something.
just talks like they're on the radio back in
Nah, see?
1920s. Yeah. It's
Nah,
only in
see?
like a 4-mile radius in Virginia, but
You may not like it, but my
Fell out of
Tommy
favor.
gun don't.
it was an artificial accent primarily used by actors in the upper class in Northwestern America, designed to project an image of sophistication and prestige.
Okay.
Eastern, though. You said Northwestern.
So it was just okay. Yes, it was just like an accent to kind of like show people, yeah, I'm a rich dick.
Yeah, I love it. That's probably like those
Yeah,
crispy
they're like, I just want to
R's.
make sure
back.
all these other people know that I'm a rich dick, so I'm gonna adopt this accent.
What kind of coffee do you want?
That'd be great. Like every person in America, we just had a rich accent. It wasn't like regional at all. It was just no. After you make it like
a
over
class system.
5 million a year, you just start to speak this
Hello,
way.
butler.
So if you go to New York or Los Angeles, you're just if you're up in a certain tax bracket, you just have the Mid-Atlantic accent now, permanently.
Yeah.
Like Portnoy comes in, all semblance of his Boston accent's gone. We're like, oh, he sounds like this now.
Yeah. You start saying hot dog correctly.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, so he does make it to the end. He
survives.
He survives. But he goes back to America and dies pretty soon thereafter. His son's Kermit's story is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Became bad dude and a depressed dude.
Yeah, very depressed dude. From very accomplished, did all kinds of stuff, heroic in war, Purple Heart recipient as well. And he ended up essentially being an abuser of his wife, an alcoholic, and then committed suicide.
In Alaska, I believe.
And,
And then one of them founded the
One of his other
OSS.
sons, he did have one son that died in World War One, and that was the first thing to like change his outlook on war, because
Yeah.
his whole life he had been very. I guess you could call him pro-war a bit.
Yeah.
Like
He was
if there
very
was a war, he was like,
imperialistic.
"Let's fucking settle this out on the battlefield. Let's go." And then it wasn't until he lost his own son that he's like, "Maybe this isn't like the way we should be going about it."
Yeah.
That is one
Like,
thing
kind
I
of, like-
turn from the book that I don't believe. So
Turn him into
how
a
I recall it happening was his wife and his daughter both died within a pretty quick amount of time from
on
each
the
other.
same day, I think.
I thought it was like the
It was
same
his
week.
wife
Was it this
and his mom
of separate issues or
Yeah,
something, and
separate-
that hit him so hard. And for like the next 4 or 5 days, or for I don't know, weeks or whatever it was, he was sulking. And he woke up one morning. He was like, "I am such a pussy. I need to go and just discover the Amazon rainforest." I thought that's how I remember.
So that
it going.
happened actually. His wife and mom died a lot earlier in his career. I think that happened even before he became the president. But that kind of like motivated him to like. He's like, I need to go and like make something of myself now.
Right.
But he had a really
sad
sad quote. Goldfinger, can you just search Roosevelt quote about dead mom? This guy is filled with. I mean, and this one is a lot sadder than the one before. But it kind of. This is when he turned around his whole life.
I gotta be honest. I didn't think we were
Okay.
gonna Google that today.
All right. Yes, I did not either. He said.
Yeah.
Where's the quote?
The light of the life is gone
Yes.
in my life. Yeah.
The light. Yeah, I probably could have just remembered that. Wait, the light has. Yes, the light has gone out of my life. Pretty simple, but devastating. And then something like around that time, maybe that's when he went to the frontier and kind of found himself, and then just decided he was going to make the most of his life, and I think we can say he did.
And his traveling buddy, I can't never. Is it John Muir or John
Skip Taylor?
Skip Taylor, John Muir, I think. His books about traveling, like how he described the Grand Canyon, and he'll get into like the Badlands. Like he described all the different national parks that he helped discover, and it's beautiful writing.
And we have him to thank for the national parks, right?
Right. Yep.
What a good idea.
The best idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nature's sweet.
You know who didn't really have the national park system? Back in the day, at least?
Russia.
Actually, I don't know. Don't quote me on this. I'm trying to think if like China had that way back in the day.
They do now, right?
They do have parks now, but a lot of the country's been deforested. But yeah, so how should we bookmark this? Let's not get too sidetracked. I feel like this has been a riveting story. How should we land the plane?
If you want to read the whole book that we've been talking about, it's called The River of Doubt. The person who wrote the book is Candace Millard. It's a fantastic book. I highly recommend it, and the audiobook is good too.
The audiobook I finished last year at Camp Barstool, and to like show what pussies we are, like if it's over 85 degrees in those tents we're sleeping in a couple weeks, I'll want to kill myself, and you just like shoot me right there.
Okay.
But
in the
Teddy
tents.
Roosevelt just figured that out. But I
Yeah.
listened last year at Camp Barstool after we were smoking a little marijuana, and the imagery you're going to get if you read this or listen on audiobook is awesome.
Yeah,
so
let's
recommend.
And it's the book itself is written like a novel. It's not
It's
written,
a story.
It's not written like a history book or anything.
No, it's fantastic. One of my all-time favorite.
Yep.
And just to correct you, at Camp Barstool, we stay in cabins, not tents.
Same thing.
In your fucking
And
face,
last
Dave.
year, we
Well, he's acting like we're roughing it. We're in pretty nice cabins.
We were, yeah.
poisoned Uncle
Yeah.
Chaps.
Yeah.
happened?
That we'll save that. I think I've shared that on the pod multiple
okay.
times before. Like to think.
There's clips. I still get tagged in that one.
And Teddy Roosevelt reminds me of Ernest Hemingway, and like a lot. They both seem like guys that just like went like constantly had to be doing something.
Yeah, could not sit still.
Yeah, like a high adrenaline activity, and it drove them to great heights. But they both loved boxing, and you know how Hemingway had his like a boxing ring at his house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Roosevelt had one in the White House.
In the front yard.
And if like a visiting diplomat or dignitary would be like, hey, do you want to go a few rounds?
God, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be so crazy to live like where you can see. Be like, oh, there's the president boxing again.
Boxing.
Do it in
Whooping
the
somebody's ass. Come here, you old scallywag. You want me to give you the old 1-2? Put your knuckles Come here, king. What do you got here? Oh, you're the king of Saudi Arabia, are you? Well, I'm the king of the old left, right, left.
Exactly. And I don't know, maybe it was the king of Saudi Arabia, but one of the diplomats did actually beat his ass, and I think he was blind in one eye for like the rest of his life.
Hell yeah.
But he was too ashamed to tell people he was blind. So he would just like pretend to have full sight for the rest of his life, and everyone was like behind his back, like,
He
this
was
dude's
blind in
definitely
one eye.
half blind.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was high school. We will see you for another class soon enough. Zaijian.
See you.
Great.
I was really fun. Love that story.
Wait, so I kind of missed the front of I kind of missed the beginning part of it.